What's up, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Journey into Fantasy. As always, I'm Brandon, and I am joined by Marin, who came back from what he was doing last time. We have no idea what. He refused to tell us. Okay. But no, this won't be a fun one, as we're going to be talking about Star Wars, since the day this podcast will upload is on May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. So,
Is
it'll
it
be uploaded
really?
on Star Wars Day. What
Or
were you
would
saying?
you look at that? If I'm saying, will it be really, huh?
Yes, that's the goal, at least, to be uploaded on Star Wars Day.
I'm gonna change my colors into Star Wars colors in the background.
Bum,
Get ready for
bum.
this, guys.
Hey.
What are the Star Wars colors? Red, blue, and purple.
Close enough.
I think the only lightsaber that's purple is Mace Windu, right?
In the canon continuity for now. Like, there's several others, but the only ones we've seen was pretty much as Mace Windu.
The cinematic universe, I
Yeah,
guess.
in the movies. Not like there's other Jedi in the books. Like in the original
guys-
canon, Leia had a purple lightsaber, but
If you ever see me with these damn cat ears, it's not because I'm a fucking furry or I like this shit. It's just because this is my girlfriend's cat ears, and to be honest, I bought it for her as a gift. They're pretty expensive, but they sound really good and they're really comfortable compared to the other headphones I have.
he just loves them. He wants them
So
for
I use
himself
them.
now.
I also don't want to spend money on buying just other pairs of headphones if these work fine. All they
Yeah.
have is the cat ears.
Yeah. So are we ready to talk about Star Wars?
I'm ready to listen because
Okay, yeah, it's mostly going to be me. That's
I know
like,
Michael Jackson wanted to be Jar Jar Binks.
yes,
That's
that was
whole
for the
Michael
prequel
Jackson
trilogy.
movie.
Like, he wanted to be Jar Jar Binks, but he wanted to be in a suit. George Lucas wanted to do CGI, and talks fell apart.
It's all right.
Yeah,
You got to be another type of alien.
Ahmed Best was perfect as Jar Jar Binks, though. But we'll get into the prequel stuff in a bit. I do want to just briefly talk about the history of Star Wars.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
No,
Or you're skipping, or there's no movie news then?
I'm not doing movie news for this one. This is
Alright.
going to be just pure Star Wars talk.
Well, we could talk about one Star Wars news. Fucking Pedro Pascal going to Mexico. Saw that recently.
I saw that too. Yeah, they revealed
She's promoting that whole the first Star Wars movies we've had in a while, actually.
Yeah, promoting the new Mandalorian and Grogu.
Which is weird. It's like the first big Star. Well, no, it's not. I forgot Rogue One, and then there was Solo. I was gonna say it's the first big Star Wars movie that had nothing to do with like the Skywalkers,
but Rogue One had Leia at the very end, so Solo was pretty much like the first one to not do anything with any Skywalker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you were saying about the history of Star Wars.
Okay, so it's been said that I feel like the history about Star Wars kind of flip-flopped all around throughout the years, but recently I found out that's George Lucas wanted to do something with Flash Gordon. That guy from the Ted films. That character.
Yeah, the cocaine guy. The one
that was the actor. The character been around way longer than that one movie did. So George Lucas originally was trying to do something with that, but they told him no. And apparently he's tried to do something with Star Trek 2, but they told him no also. So he's like, all right, fine. I'll just do my own thing. So it was originally called The Adventures of Luke Starkiller.
Okay.
He auditioned. I
thought it was called Blue Harvest.
No. But they auditioned a lot of people. He auditioned a lot of people. He got the guy who was put in the Darth Vader suit. I think he was one of the first people he auditioned, and he got to pick who he wanted to be, either the villain or Chewbacca. He chose to be Vader. What he didn't know, though, was that he had no idea that his voice would be replaced.
Well, did George Lucas even know, or was it just kind of like a last minute?
I don't know. That I do not know. But it's there was a surprise when watching the movie theater, watching the movie.
I would be too, man.
All of a sudden, it's that's not my voice. It's
yeah, wasn't he some Scottish guy?
Yeah, I think so.
Or was that Jabba?
No, maybe. But and then No, they're auditioning people. They're looking into all these other actors. I think like Robert Englund, who we know him as Freddy Krueger. He auditioned for Luke Skywalker. Several well-known actors from Kurt Russell, Jeff Goldblum auditioned for Han Solo. I think they were trying to get Jeff Goldblum to be Han Solo, but he he said no for a whole nother film. And like what was crazy was that like now Harrison Ford, he went in to like fix some stuff because at the time he was working as a carpenter because his acting career was going nowhere. And yet he worked with George Lucas in a project before American Graffiti.
Right.
So George was like, "Hey, could you help me out by reading these lines to these actors that are auditioning?" So, like reading the lines of Han Solo to the people who are auditioning for Luke and Leia and stuff like that. He's like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" Well, that pretty much got him the role of Han Solo.
And he's hated it ever since. Does
One.
he like not like the role? What's up with that
He
name?
was-
That like
At the time, like like he was always just he wanted to be known for more than Han Solo. That was the thing. Like he was able to break
oh, he
away.
is though. You know.
Yeah. Like he was able to break away from just being known as Han Solo, but like I don't know, for him it was always like just whatever, kind of. Those are kind of behind me, but like nowadays he has like more of an appreciation for it though. But then now they cast Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford, Alec Guinness, who was Obi-Wan Kenobi, which they offered him I think 10% of the film's box office, which it ended up being a success for sure. But what was crazy was that at the time, nobody believed that this was going to be a success. They all thought
This
that
was
it
like
was.
what year? What year was this also?
I think it came out in 1977. If I think it came out in 1977. Yes. May 25th, 1977. And it's like the original edit was trashed that George Lucas' wife at the time edited herself and practically saved the film.
This
But
was like on film, right?
this was all on
This wasn't
film.
digital. Oh,
And what was the one thing that was crazy was that, like when watching the Star Wars films, like those George Lucas written films, the dialogue is always a bit wonky on the nose type. So then like you had the actors always criticizing the dialogues. Like, hey, listen, we can't say this. This does not sound good. Do you say what you write? Like, no, George Luke, like Harrison, Mark Hamill was always criticizing the dialogue. And I think Mark Hamill joked about how, oh yeah, Harrison Ford, he plays this space pirate who threatened to tie up the director and make him read his own dialogue.
so nobody really liked the dialogue at the time.
No, even Alec Guinness, like who plays Obi-Wan, even he criticized the dialogue. Everyone criticized. And that was always the thing with
Lucas.
like his dialogue wasn't always the best. And it was like this in the
Cringe.
prequels too.
Just kind of cringy.
Yeah. But
I mean, it worked.
But yeah, it ended up working. Like if it wasn't for his wife's edit of the film, I'm trying to remember her, like it was this now ex-wife, but if it wasn't for Marcia Lucas, there would be no Star Wars. But like, no, this was also another thing. George Lucas even thought that this film was going to flop. So with the money that he earned from Star Wars, him, his wife, Steven Spielberg and his wife all went on vacation to Hawaii. And while on vacation, Steven Spielberg was complaining. He's like, yeah, man, I really want to do a James Bond movie, but they won't let me because I'm not British. And at the time, they were only wanting British directors to direct James Bond.
Yeah.
Well, George Lucas was like, I got you. And came up with the idea, told him the idea for Indiana Jones.
And that was our James Bond.
Yeah, pretty much. The American, they're like, this could be the American James Bond. He was like, I have an
After
idea.
watching
Go ahead.
James Bond's movies and watching Indiana Jones, they're like not really similar at all.
No, not at all. But it's like
Indiana Jones is a way better,
character.
or I guess, put together character. I
Mm.
just didn't like how James Bond womanizes a lot of his women, like a lot of
Yeah,
James Bond's girls in the
yeah,
beginning
I
of
get.
the film series.
Yeah.
And he also did Japanese face, which was I did not
Oh,
expect that when I was watching those movies.
that's the thing though. Like with those types of films back then, like doing that was normal back then. So it's just kind of
Yeah,
weird to like no, it's just like saying some slur words. Like now it's like, oh gosh, this is bad. Like kind of
yeah.
like it's crazy how times were different back then. How all that stuff was normal, and it's like looking back at it now, it's like, oh gosh,
Was there
how did they get away with all this?
there wasn't anything like that in Star Wars, was there?
No.
I don't. Yeah, I
Really,
don't
the
think I've
thing
ever.
with Star Wars was diversity. It was always white people. That's like really, I
Oh
guess, the thing with Star Wars.
no. What about Lando?
He was the only black guy in Star Wars for a
And he
while.
died.
No, he's not dead.
Oh, Mace Windu.
He died later on, but yeah,
Yeah,
like
there's no Mexicans.
yeah,
Now there's Diego Luna.
yeah. No, but like no,
He's
along
in
with
Star Wars, right?
who?
Diego Luna.
He's Andor, Cassian Andor.
Yeah, I don't watch that show. Sorry, dude. But yeah, he's Mexican. There
Yeah.
you go.
You know, we have Oscar Isaac, who is Guatemalan. Um,
So there's better diversity now.
yes, they've been doing better with diversity now, of course, compared to back then. But it's like if it wasn't for that first Star Wars movie being a success, none of this would be popular. But then again, another thing that was crazy back then, George Lucas negotiated for toy sales. He's like, "Oh, I want the sales for toys." They're like, "Oh, okay." They didn't think it was going to do good. That made him like a billionaire with toy sales.
Yeah, merchandise. Like everybody nowadays,
Mhm.
everybody knows that merchandise is like.
The
Think
best.
Disney makes most of its money from like Marvel movies because of the merchandise. They don't make a lot of
That does
money
not surprise
from their
me.
movies.
Like for a while
Marvel
though,
and so
for a
no,
while
Sony doesn't own the rights to.
no,
Sorry,
does
yeah,
not
you're
own the
right.
merchandise rights. For a while, it was going to be like with like the original first MCU Spider-Man films. Sony makes the money from the box office while Disney makes the money from the merchandise.
Hmm.
But of course, back to Star Wars, like the history for this is just amazing. There's just a lot of crazy behind the scenes stories. But like it's just crazy like how it all kicked off with this one film that nobody knew was going to be a success. A lot of the actors thought it was going to flop. The creator thought it was going to flop, but yet it ended up being a success, and that led to multiple projects from, of course, more movies, books, comics, video games.
Holiday specials
I mean, there's
that we have
only
never seen,
one live action
right?
holiday special, but they did do several Lego holiday specials.
Isn't it like nobody's seen it? Like you can't even
There
watch
is
it.
no official version, but there are bootleg versions of it on YouTube.
Now, how does that happen?
There is a rumor that George Lucas hated it, that over like this is just a crazy rumor that overnight he was able to get all of the copies and destroy them before they were like
Obviously
released.
not. If there's like a bootleg
I
version on YouTube.
remember Carrie Fisher in an interview, this was sometime before filming the sequel trilogy. She talked, she was asked about it, and she joked about how she had a copy of the holiday special, and that she would play it whenever she had parties just to get people to leave.
Oh wow, have you seen it?
I've seen clips of it. I never watched the full thing, but
What do you
yeah,
think?
it is bad,
Like cringy bad or what?
cringy
Now I gotta
bad.
watch it.
I do want to watch it.
Okay.
I should probably watch it soon, but it's like it is pretty cringy bad. Like no, with the Mandalorian, like that rifle that the Mandalorian has in season one, that is pretty much from the holiday special. And
Oh, that's cool.
the co-creator of The Mandalorian, Jon Favreau, we know him as directing the first Iron Man movie, Elf, the Jungle Book
Happy.
remake. Now he is Happy Hogan. Like on set of The Mandalorian, George Lucas would sometimes visit the set, and Jon Favreau was like, "Hey, look, it's that rifle from the holiday special, so it's canon, right?" And George Lucas just goes, "I don't know what you're talking about." Yeah, so like
Damn, poor George Lucas.
they do not like the holiday. Like even the actors hated the holiday special, and yet they did it.
Yeah. Isn't it like about Chewbacca or
Yeah, Chewbacca's
Ewoks or something like
family,
that?
the celebration
Chewbacca's
of
family,
life,
yeah.
something like that. I think the day of life. Just was
I
pretty
gotta
much.
watch it. But taking a break from this, let me ask you, so we can get a little ad sponsor here, a little bit of trivia for Star Wars. One question I have for you, just because Brandon claims to be a big giant Star Wars fan. About 20% of Star Wars fans can answer this question correctly. On which planet did Anakin Skywalker and Padme Amidala first meet?
Tatooine.
Oh, okay. I gotta find a harder one for you then. About 30% of people can answer this question. How old was Padme when she was elected Queen of Naboo?
He was like a teen, because I think Queens of Naboo's was only like 3 years, but I don't remember her age exactly. I think she's like about
You
3 or 4 years
guess?
older. It's their multiple choice thing because I don't remember. I don't know their ages.
You're right, she's in the teens.
12,
Nope.
13.
Nope. It was 14.
14 was my original choice, but I'm like, no, I think she was 14 in a Phantom Menace.
All right. Well, last question, and then I'll ask you more questions later on
All
throughout the
right, all right.
podcast. But not it says only about 15% of people can get this one. What was Finn's stormtrooper's code name in The Force Awakens?
FN217.
Hey, what are you looking at back there?
Right.
Yeah, you're right. You got that right. But I see you looking at something over there.
Because he wrote it right here.
Okay, you're
FN2187.
lucky.
I
You
said
got lucky with that
I
one.
forgot the 8, but still.
All right. We'll come back to these trivias throughout. But you got, what was it, like 3 out of the 4 right or something like that?
I got 2 out of 1 right for now.
2
What
out of
you
3
should
right.
do, like, you remember that one Marvel thing we did where you were saying saying the Marvel lines, and I had to guess who said it and what movie it was from? Try to find
Yeah.
something like just Star Wars quotes from Star Wars characters in movies
Have
or
you
TV.
seen all this stuff for Star Wars media?
Yes, most of it.
Is what are you missing? I don't know. You've seen everything Star Wars media?
Yes. I mean, there's some kids shows that they do I haven't watched. Some Lego
Yeah.
stuff, or like there's the original Clone.
Reminiscence.
Oh, I did watch the original Clone Wars series, and because in the early 2000s they did an original Clone Wars series, but like that's no longer canon. And then I think in like the 80s and 90s they did like several like Ewok TV movies and like an Ewok animated series. They did a Droids animated series, but that's all. I have not watched and I have not watched the holiday special. No, but back to the original trilogy. There's like a lot of fun stories behind the scenes with Mark Harrison, Carrie Fisher, and all that when it comes to the original trilogy, because like on I remember reading that on the set for the original trilogy they would be like always joking with one another, pranking one another, and then when like who plays Obi-Wan, Sir Alec Guinness, was on set, they would always try to act professional around him.
Who was it?
The guy who plays Obi-Wan. They would always try to act
Why
professional.
is he like he's like a professional like famous actor back in the
He
day?
was the biggest actor on that set, pretty much. I feel like I think him and Peter Cushing, who plays Grand Moff Tarkin.
Yeah.
So they were always like trying to
Who?
act professional around him, but no, this was a funny story that I remember reading that Carrie Fisher was talking about how Mark Hamill was like so fascinated with him and just kept on asking him so many questions about his career that Alex Dennis got annoyed and offered him $20 to leave him alone.
Mark Hamill?
Yeah.
To be honest,
Remember,
he gives me
they
those
were
kind of
young.
he gives me that vibes.
They were like 19, 20 during this time.
Yeah. Damn.
Now, and on the set of
20
the
bucks, huh? Back then, it might have been like that could have been like 60 or 50 bucks.
exactly, and also back no, they're on set for the original Star Wars film. Harrison Ford had an affair with Carrie Fisher,
Wasn't she like 16?
19,
Oh.
and he was like in his 30s. He was. She described like before she died, she released a book, and like that was when she revealed it. But yes, he was looking back at the memories fondly, joking about how it was like a 3 month affair, and it's like
Okay.
they were talking about how they were doing it everywhere. And like I remember Mark Hamill was talking about how he was like, I was so oblivious to everything back then that they probably were doing it in front of me and I didn't even notice.
Wow.
And he like in the
Okay.
book it did say that he did walk in on them once, but they were like, oh, we were just rehearsing a scene. Oh, okay. I just didn't think much of it.
I wonder if Mark Hamill remembers that shit fondly. Probably I don't know, maybe not. If it distorted marriage, he's probably like shit, why the fuck was I doing that? Blah blah blah.
Harrison Ford, you mean?
Wait, yeah, Harrison Ford. Sorry.
Uh Harrison Ford is a very private person. Like he's not out there revealing everything to the media. But like Carrie Fisher did said that wrote the when she was writing the book, she did send him a transcript, and he only replied with one word: lawyer. That's it.
He's just joking.
Joking. She was laughing about it, so it's like okay. There and Harrison Ford
He
has
probably
said
doesn't care.
in kind of like a recent interview, he was asked who was the funniest person on set, and he said Carrie.
She was funny in bed. That's crazy though, man. 30 years old and 19 and he was married.
I already had 2 kids.
Different times, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
That was the era when like that one line from Matthew McConaughey that was pretty famous. That was like I think he's like, that's why I like high school girls, because as I get older, they stay the same age or some shit like that. I think that was
Fuck.
also in the 70s.
Jesus.
That was Matthew McConaughey. I think that was Dazed and Confused.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember I saw that clip. I'm like, whoa, what?
Yeah. It's like now the original trilogy is still no, from the behind the scenes stories to the making of these films is still just iconic, especially when it comes to like Empire Strikes Back too. Because that
That's
was
like the
like
only trilogy that I've seen, of the Star Wars movies
and you didn't
that
fall
I've
asleep.
enjoyed. As a kid, I remember me and my dad, I think we watched the prequels. He had them on DVDs.
Yeah.
But I was a kid. Like the only thing I
Hmm.
remember is like there's like a big
Hmm.
droid war,
Yeah.
and then Jar Jar Binks, because as a kid I
Hmm.
loved that guy for some reason.
All of us did. Like I don't even now, like as an adult, it's like, oh, it wasn't a terrible character. Like it's for kids.
He didn't really do much in the
Yeah.
movie. But I from the original ones from the
Hmm.
70s, I've seen them for the first time a couple years ago, and I mean I get why people like
Yeah.
them. They're really like
Empire
they
Strikes
just give
Back.
a fantasy like
Hmm.
adventure vibe. It's about a
Yeah.
character that's just going on an adventure,
Hmm.
and you're going on this adventure with him, and it just gave off like a very fantasy mystical vibe.
Yeah.
To be fair, for some reason, the third one just kind of fell off
Yeah,
for me at the end,
it kind of did. That
and
was
I
the
think
thing. I'll get
that's
into that in a
everybody's
bit.
everybody's opinion about that.
But it's still a satisfying conclusion, which I'll get into like some behind the scenes stuff with the third one, but it's like with the second one, there was just a lot of changes going on. Because the thing with the original trilogy that people don't understand is that George Lucas never had it all fully mapped out. like how
So
people think he
you
did.
said he was planning just making one movie, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And like when it became a success, he was like, "Oh, okay, I guess I'll make a sequel." Like there was like multiple ideas, and one of them was, Anakin would have appeared as a Force ghost to Luke. Now, at this time, nobody knew that Anakin was Vader.
Christian Hayden.
Chris, Hayden Christensen, but that came decades later.
Not in the fucking remake of the what is it, the digital versions?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's the thing with Disney Plus, because I watch these on Disney Plus, and
That wasn't that was done in the early 2000s though. That was done in the 2004
oh,
re-release of the
well,
films.
it's not when the movie first came out, so I was a
No,
little
no, not
confused.
when
Like, oh, I thought this movie was filmed in the 70s. What the hell is Christian
in the 90s
Hayden?
George Lucas went in and like digitally changed some stuff, and he did it again in the 2000 in like the early 2000s
Yeah.
too.
It just
But
threw me off a little bit
yeah.
when I saw. I wasn't expecting this. So
Mhm.
if you're trying to get into Star Wars, expect some
Yeah.
weird stuff if you decide to watch the Disney Plus version.
No, but like no, with Empire Strikes Back, I bet you did not know this. No,
I
this
bet I
because do
did.
you know the iconic line, "I love you, I know." The original line
Yes,
was
Mark Hamill and Harrison
no,
Ford said to each other.
Carrie Fisher and Harrison. Oh my god. But like no, he
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like Harrison Ford was like, nah, that's not that saying I love you too, it's not a Han Solo thing. So he said, I know. And like George Lucas made him do a recording saying I love you too, and like during a test screening, the one that said I know was more well received. So that one of course ended up being in the film. But another thing that was very fascinating was that like the idea of Anakin being Vader, Vader being Luke's father. That was not really always a plan, but it did come later on. But that was a super secretive idea. Like, at the time, only a few people knew. The producer, George Lucas, and Mark Hamill was told. Because the original
we
line
had to
for
be.
that
Yeah.
was, Obi-Wan killed your father. So when they told Mark Hamill, he was like, oh shit. Because, with the first film, he was passing the script around to everyone. It's like, hey, read this ridiculous thing. So like with this film, it was like even more secretive, and he was joking about how if they wanted something to like get around on set, they would just tell Carrie, and she would be telling everyone. So he had to like make sure not to accidentally tell her about it. So
Damn.
so when like actually at the premiere watching the film, and when that one part comes up, everyone was surprised, even the cast, even Harrison Ford. And Mark Hamill was jokingly like, yeah, Harrison Ford just turned to me. He's like, hey, kid, I did not fucking hear that from Carrie.
So he didn't even know about
He
it.
didn't even
Nobody
know.
did.
Nobody knew. Only like
What
James
about
Earl
Earl?
Jones. He,
Yeah, I was
he
gonna
said the
say
line, so
James,
he had to know.
but
And
the
George
guy
Lucas.
playing Vader in the
Yeah.
suit,
He didn't know.
he probably said, yeah, he probably said the Obi-Wan line.
Yeah. Like, that was like the original line. It's like, no, what was crazy back then with Empire Strikes Back 2, this was like the film that the good guys lose. Han Solo gets frozen in carbonite. And apparently back then, people were divided about it because the good guys lost. It didn't have a happy ending. The character that everyone loved, yeah. And now it's just regarded as the best Star Wars film. Yeah, the reason Han Solo was frozen in carbonite was because like he was only signed for 2 films, and he originally didn't want to come back for the third film, but George Lucas was able to convince him.
With some money.
Yeah.
Wasn't that his like line for the Red Hulk? The reasoning for his Red Hulk
He
appearance?
says that about everything. Blade Runner, the Red Hulk, because when he was in that motion capture suit, they were joking about how embarrassing was it on there. He's like, the embarrassment went away when I saw the money.
I get it.
Yeah. But it's like, with Return of the Jedi, there was a lot of plans for it. The original idea was Han Solo was going to have this heroic death. Carrie Sister Leia was going to be the leader of the rebellion. And there were a few ideas for Luke. There was one where he would turn to the dark side, becoming the new Vader. And there was one where he would just walk off into the sunset. Pretty much. But
obviously, that's not the ending we got.
Because of wanting to sell toys, they did the repeated plot points for the Death Star, and like the guy who co-created all this with George Lucas ended up leaving.
And who was that?
I don't remember.
He has a name, don't you?
He does have a name. I just cannot remember his name.
And he's a co-creator. Come on, Brandon.
He is a co-creator. I know.
We should give him a name.
Okay.
That's like when I get famous, you're gonna be my co-creator.
We're both co-creators. What the hell are you talking about? We both co-created this podcast and this production company.
The Russo brothers, or are we gonna be what are the trans sisters called from the Matrix?
No. We will be Los Cabrones. That's what we're gonna be.
Am I getting that right? Did they?
They became trans. They did become trans.
Okay.
Yes. But really a lot of the stuff like the Ewoks and all that, it was all just to sell toys. Like this was, and it's like Harrison Ford was wanting Han Solo to have this heroic ending, but George Lucas was just like, no, dead characters don't sell toys. So it's like, yeah, kind of like repeated plot points. Now, Han Solo just feels like he is there just to be there, to be honest, but yet it is still a pretty fun movie, in my opinion. Like, it's still fun. It's a satisfying conclusion to this original trilogy.
We see Luke become evil for a little bit.
Yeah.
Or pretend to be evil.
What's crazy is that Mark Hamill said that he thought that was going to happen, that he thought it was leading up to that. But obviously,
I think wasn't it supposed to be like, or
it did tease it, but
yeah, he was like supposed to stay evil, and then like his sister's supposed to kill him or change him back.
I don't know. That I do not know. In the Legends continuity, like this was like the expanded universe before all that got wiped clean. There is a story where, because Palpatine, he came back in the Legends continuity. He had all these clones, and he would like transfer his consciousness to these clones of himself.
Oh, bother.
Yeah, people complain about that in the fucking movie. But like, and Luke did try to join the dark side, and he was part of the dark side briefly, but Leia saved him. I wasn't a fan. Yeah, I was not a fan of that. Then again, whatever. All that's no longer canon. But like, with Return of the Jedi was when we found out that Luke and Leia are twins after they kissed in Empire Strikes Back, which that did feel like a last minute decision in a way, I guess. But it's whatever.
Yeah, because like in the second one,
they were flirting. Like the first two,
she was flirting more with Han Solo.
But like in the first two, did feel like there was a weird love triangle with the three of them.
I think George Lucas, when he fleshed out the story more, he was like, "Yeah, we're just gonna pretend that didn't happen."
It was more like, let's save money and let's make Leia Luke's twin. Because in Empire Strikes Back, Yoda is like, there is another one. Like, because these films got heavily edited throughout the years, and I would remember chatting with my dad about that, and he was telling me how he kind of figured it was Leia because in the original version, after Yoda said that, the next shot was a shot of Leia. The next scene was Leia, so...
Do you think they had to make her his sister, or he just wanted to do more family stuff?
I don't know, honestly. I don't know. That I do not know. It's like, I don't know if it was a last minute... Like, because, like I said, the original trilogy was not planned from beginning to end. Like, George Lucas did get the ideas for the prequel when writing Empire Strikes Back, but I don't know if he actually had a full-on plan for all that, to be honest.
Before we move on to the prequels, I wanted to ask you the whole quote thing you were mentioning. See if you get some of these lines.
Now, before we get to that, I do want to ask real quick, what is your favorite original film? What is your favorite one in the original films? And who is your favorite character?
Me?
You said that these are like the only ones you watched that you liked a lot.
I like Rogue One.
Yeah. You like Solo? We watched that one.
Solo was a fun time.
Yeah.
I should have rewatched these. Maybe I rewatched them before Star Wars Day, but I think the first one is my favorite.
That was a classic.
Obi-Wan, yeah, Obi-Wan and Yoda are pretty cool.
That's Empire
They're not
Strikes Back.
annoying.
Yeah.
They're not really annoying. Han Solo's all right, but
Everyone
I think
wants to be
Obi-Wan.
Han Solo.
I want to be Leia.
Like you even had.
I like the outfit she wears in the Jabba's prison.
You totally rock that.
Can you buy me one?
No, tell Hannah. But yeah, everyone wanted to be Han Solo. Mark and Carrie were all like, "Man, I wanted to be Han Solo," but Harrison Ford's like, "Yeah, whatever."
That's why he's Han Solo.
Yeah, like my favorite is Empire Strikes Back, and Han Solo is of course my favorite character. Like now, these original films are just iconic for what it did, how it introduced Star Wars and everything. It's like, especially with the themes that it followed from, like, because the Empire was inspired by Nixon's America at the time, and the rebellion was inspired by the Vietnam forces fighting back against the empire that is known as America at the time. So that is just very fascinating.
That was inspired by Hitler.
That too, which you could tell with the uniforms and all that, but it was mostly inspired by Nixon's America. But it was mostly inspired by America at the time. So all that.
I think Stormtrooper is like the name of what they called like the Nazi soldiers in Germany or some shit like that.
Probably, I don't know. It's like how political Star Wars could get, especially with the original trilogy. It's just fascinating. How it also relates to what's going on nowadays too. But the trivia game.
Who said the line, "I don't like sand"?
Anakin. Attack of the Clones. I hate sand. It's rough and coarse.
What the fuck's up with that meme?
George Lucas' terrible dialogue writing, to be honest. Like, he is good with fantasy elements, but when it comes to dialogue, says no. I wonder why Harrison Ford threatened him.
Oh no. Okay, who said the line? I like first, good or bad, they're always memorable.
I like first, good or bad, or Lando.
Nope. I like first, good or bad, they're always memorable. Ashoka Tano.
Ahsoka Tano?
Ashoka Tano. Yeah, that's what it says.
What project? Was it Clone Wars? No, I don't think it was Clone Wars. Had to be the Ahsoka series. Does it show the project?
It does not.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, I'll skip that one. Anyways, great. Kid, don't get cocky.
Han Solo, A New Hope.
Correct.
He says that to Luke Skywalker. When Luke hits a TIE fighter. I saw one! Great, kid. Don't get cocky.
All right. What about the line, be careful not to choke on your aspirations, director.
Darth Vader, Rogue One. He says that to Krennic.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right, Brandon.
Choke on your aspirations.
All right. How about the line, no longer certain that one ever does win a war, I am.
Yoda.
Yes, they're in the Clone
You
Wars.
said I am right at the end. It's like, that's Yoda. No longer certain one wins a war. I am.
How about the line?
Let's make this the last one for now so we could move on.
We'll make this one the last one.
Okay.
Sometimes we must let go of our pride and do what is requested of us.
What movie or what project? Or doesn't show?
Prequels. The prequels.
Okay, I got 2 guesses for this one.
You only get one.
I think it kind of sounds like Padme.
I'll say it one more time.
Kind of sounds like something from
Sometimes
Padme.
we must let go of our pride and do what is requested of us.
Kind of sounds like Padme, but I think might be Anakin's mom too. It's one of them two. I feel like
It's a guy.
it's a guy.
It's a guy.
Qui-Gon.
Nope. Anakin Skywalker.
Okay, he says that in a Phantom Menace, right? It's that kid Anakin. Oh, when he's in the outside with Padme and Attack of the Clones. Okay.
It says while Anakin was hesitant to say these words, he still understood what it meant to be a selfless Jedi before falling into the dark side.
Okay, very okay.
Well, yeah, you did pretty good. Yeah, you got two wrong.
Yep. All right, now
You gotta
moving
work on
on.
your Anakin. I guess I'm the Anakin in this relationship. I don't like sand either.
No, you're the Jar Jar Binks of this friendship.
If I'm Jar Jar Binks and you're Jabba the Hutt. No, you're one of the Jabba the Hutt's guards that keeps like falling down the fucking stairs.
Anyways, like of course, because of the original trilogy, there was ideas for a sequel trilogy, but George Lucas had ideas for that to film that in the late 2000s, but he did in like 1996, I believe, was when he started to write the first prequel movie.
Yeah,
Originally, he wanted to get Tupac to play Mace Windu in that.
That's
But
funny.
Tupac died, and the prequels
That's not funny.
was one that's like at the time people hated, but yet it is more appreciated now. And I remember as a kid watching the prequels, even though I didn't watch them in theaters, I loved them. Then nowadays,
The
I kind of
first
just
one?
watch all of them. But it's like nowadays watching them, it's like, okay, this isn't bad. Like, of course, like I do have my criticisms with all Star Wars, but yet in a way, it's like as a kid, like this is what I feel like with Star Wars. I don't want to say they're for kids, but they're more for families. They're family projects in a way that kids seem to enjoy more, especially with all the toys. Because the prequels, Jar Jar Binks, he was definitely there for kids' entertainment. Because as a kid, I loved him. As a kid, you talked about how you liked him.
My thing is now that I rewatched them as growing up. The
Yeah.
first one is kind of where I keep falling asleep. It's because nothing really happens with the first one. It's just kind of like a car
Yeah.
race.
Yeah, I kind of get
And I
that.
think that's why a little bit of people kind of hate it because you kind
Mhm.
of, after watching a little bit of the second one,
Yeah.
you kind of want to just more scenes of Anakin and
Mhm.
Obi-Wan teaming up. You want more of a
Yeah.
buddy cooperation. And in the
Mhm.
first one, it kind of just like I get it has to be an introduction, but it's just mostly like a race. Feels like just
Yeah.
a big race, no?
Yeah.
And I don't know. What do you think?
I get that because it's like now with the prequels in general, it's like they're different, very different compared to the original ones, and people, I feel like that's why people were upset about that. But yet, kind of watching it as one continuous story, it's like, okay, this is very fascinating. This was George Lucas' story that he wanted to tell his own, and he got to tell his own story, whether people agree with it or not. But then again,
Yeah.
with behind the scenes stuff with the prequels, the problem with that I feel like was George was surrounded by yes men, kind of just agreeing with every single one of his ideas, not disagreeing with him, and that's kind of like I feel like it's a bit of a creative problem. You can kind of tell, but it's like that doesn't mean that the films are terrible. If you get what I mean, just do you get what I mean?
Kind of, yeah. So everybody was just agreeing with like everything he wanted to do, not really
Yes,
giving any pushback.
yes.
Well, except for Mace Windu, he got a purple
You
lightsaber.
got a purple lightsaber.
That
Like
was the first one?
he didn't use his lightsaber in the first one.
No, right?
The
Okay.
second one, because
Well, he dies.
third one, he dies in the third one.
What? Order 66?
Or he died. Anakin and Palpatine pretty much kill him.
Yeah, I remember.
So it's like, no, with the prequels, it's like there's still something special. And what's fascinating about them is that it did feel like there was a little bit of a Shakespearean vibe with with all that in a way, of how they
If
were
they
speaking
would,
and stuff.
yeah, if you could put those movies into like Netflix, that's like a Netflix 1 hours, like maybe 3 episode kind of special event, I think it would work better. But like you had to go back in the day when they were like it took like what 2 or 3 years to film these,
Yeah.
and people had to wait in
Mm-hmm.
between. It's like you're waiting for like the next episode of a series you're really into for two
Yeah.
to three years.
Like, and like really one of my main gripes with the prequels, I've mentioned this a lot of times, is the dialogue. Like, you have like how
Kind of
hated,
boring.
like the writing for Anakin in the second one. The dude was a psychopath.
Darth Vader. Oh,
Yeah.
you talking about the prequels?
Yeah,
Prequels.
I'm talking about with the prequels. Like, I don't think the Anakin is my favorite character, but I will be the first to admit in Attack of the Clones, George Lucas did not do good writing him, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's so weird that he talks like that, but then
Like
you
he would
go to like the originals as when he's Darth Vader, he talks so much normal.
he was trying, like Hayden Christensen was talking about how he was trying to copy James Earl Jones' voice pattern as Vader. So it's like, okay, that's
He did a
interesting,
black voice.
but like this is the thing with George Lucas. George Lucas has said that he hates directing. He only directed A
Right.
New Hope and he did direct the prequels, but it's like when directing, he is like he casts people who he think could fit the character, but yeah, he doesn't really direct them with the character. He's like, fast, okay, do it again but slower, do it again but faster, do it again but better. That's how
Who the
he
fuck does
directs.
that?
That's how he directs.
Yeah. So how do you direct? I don't know. I've never seen Brandon direct. We still got to make something where you direct something.
Eventually, one day, my brother, one day. So it's like you could kind of like, but yet I don't know. It's like even though the dialogue and all that, it's kind of a mess. Like with the prequels, though, like just watching it all together, it's like, oh, okay, this is amazing, and like, this was really. Many could argue about this, but the Clone Wars animated series that from 2008, the one that introduced Ahsoka Tano and all these characters, that is what saved the prequels. That is what made the prequels amazing because we dive into the Clone Wars, we dive into all these clones, we dive more into Anakin, see kind of like his slow descent into the dark side, dive more into that brotherhood between him and Obi-Wan. Like I've been rewatching the Clone Wars recently, and it is
From like Cartoon Network?
Yeah, that is still
Not the
canon.
Disney, not the Disney Plus ones, right?
That's it's the same. It's the
But
same.
you're saying you're rewatching it, so
Yeah.
you're watching.
It's on
Bro,
Disney Plus.
I remember as a kid, those commercials would come on, and
Yeah,
I would change it.
that movie, because remember there was a Clone Wars movie. That was the
Yeah.
first Star Wars movie, like even though it was animated, that was like the first Star Wars movie I watched in theaters.
Oh,
And
okay.
I don't know if you remember this,
No.
but I think it was like in 2011 or 2012, they re-released A Phantom Menace in theaters in 3D.
No.
That they did, and that was actually the first live action Star Wars film I watched. Even though I watched it plenty of times on DVD, but like I remember going to watch that in theaters. It's just having the 3D glasses, it's just seeing like the words pop up off screen. That was just awesome. And the theater was packed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This was
it
at the
always gets
Regal
packed.
too.
The thing got packed, was it last year when they had released the
Yes.
anniversary for Star Wars? Yeah.
When they did the re-release for Revenge of the Sith last year. And like I think next year they're re-releasing A New Hope for its 50th anniversary.
In 3D.
I don't know. Yeah, they're not doing 3D anymore.
No, they're gonna do Infinite Vision or whatever they fucking call it now.
Probably. Because, like, of course,
God.
many years later, we did end up. Well, before all this, do you
No,
actually
I don't
were
think
you
so.
did you actually like fully watch the prequel trilogy or no?
As a kid,
What do you like?
Order 66.
That that's the best one. Like it did great. Like I feel like even though Revenge of the Sith did kind of quickly, so Anakin just turned to the dark side all of a sudden. I just that it did have still its amazing moments of him in the dark side, the clone, just the Order
No.
66 scene. It's just phenomenal.
When he gets into the Darth
Hmm.
Vader suit.
Yeah,
No, and he screams
but
no.
like, what
Last
is
time
your
we ever no, it wasn't the last time we saw Hayden as in Star
Ahsoka?
Wars.
The Ahsoka series was the last time we saw
I was gonna
him.
say Obi-Wan, but I didn't watch Ahsoka.
But it's like, what is your?
What
I
is
guess
my
what is your
favorite Star
favorite
Wars movie?
prequel, and what is your who is your favorite character from the prequels?
I don't know, dude. The second one, no, the third one's pretty cool.
Yeah, the third one was
Cause I
epic.
like just because of
Mhm.
that whole like
Yeah,
Order 66 war.
yeah,
That's like where we get the most action. Like, that's kind of what I kind of wanted.
yeah.
I'm not a big action guy, but like Star Wars
Like
action fight, sword fight
uh,
scene or lightsaber
Attack of
scenes
the
are the best.
Clones, really to create the good act. The action doesn't happen until like by the end. Sure, some little
And then
action
like
here and there, but still,
the last one, what is the last one called? Revenge of the Sith.
yeah,
That one is like, oh, the whole movie is just like a war movie. And I don't know, it felt
yeah.
good to watch. You just sit back and like watch all these like fights and like people getting cut
The
open
beginning
and the
scene of it,
betrayal
the
because these
betrayal.
Jedi's
Mm-hmm.
are like use these clones or these stormtroopers as like
Yeah, clone
and then
troopers.
and like how they explore more of this lore into the in the Clone Wars like
Yeah,
canon in the show. How
it's
like
all
some of
phenomenal.
these like stormtroopers are like
Clone troopers, clone
some
troopers,
of
and
these
stormtroopers are different from one another.
well whatever the clone troopers how they're just like some of them are just depressed and like sad that
Mhm.
they can't control what's going
Yeah,
on. Some of
like
them, I think some of them, isn't it kind of like some of them don't like follow the order or
it's
something like
because they
that?
have like in the Clone Wars, it was revealed that they had a chip in their
Yeah,
head that activated Order 66.
but
Some
some
of
of them
them were
didn't
able
have
to
that,
like get
right?
the chip removed, so that's how like
Yeah.
they didn't fully go through with it. It's like the Clone Wars did just amazing, humanizing the clone troopers, making us fall in love with these clone troopers from Captain Rex, Commander Cody. We had the Bad Bats, Fives, Echo,
You
Heavy.
have that Funko. Don't you have all their
That's
Funkos?
Gus. I have
Oh yeah.
Captain Rex. Gus has the Bad Bats Funko.
You should buy it. You should probably buy it from him.
I'm sure if he sells it to me for $20, I'll give him $20.
$20?
Because ain't
How
nobody
much do they
paying.
go for online?
I have no idea. Not Star Wars related, but I recently found this out. The Adam Eve regular Funko now apparently goes for over $100 online.
That's dumb.
It is.
Why?
And so it's barely in this damn season.
Oh
But
no.
like, I don't know, like the prequel trilogy, even though it did have its questionable moments, it was still just something iconic. The prequel saga, just in general, Anakin, of course, is my favorite, and Revenge of the Sith. I've been on a Revenge of the Sith binge lately. I think that's slowly becoming my favorite Star Wars movie because it's just
Oh
how,
wow.
yeah. That one was just really. I don't know why. I'm always watching edits of it, and it's like, oh man, this is just awesome. Just the betrayal, the the fight, because like two of the best Star Wars fights in film is either it's a no the battle of on Mustafar with Anakin and Obi-Wan, and the Duel of Fates with in the first in the Phantom Menace with Darth Maul, Qui-Gon, and Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that one.
Yeah. Like the Clone Wars just does a lot. As we do see Maul come back, we do
Oh, I like
see
Yoda's fight with Palpatine. That
Yoda.
was a good fight
That was a
too.
good one too. The Disney saga, pretty much. As this, we did get the sequel trilogy and two spin-off movies, Solo and Rogue One. And what's crazy, like the sequel trilogy, George Lucas had ideas for the sequel trilogy, but his ideas for the sequel trilogy was somewhat similar but very different. And I do feel like if we would have gotten his version of the sequel trilogy, people would not be liking it as much as we've gotten so far either, because there's just some questionable plans, questionable ideas for that too. But with
Hmm.
what we gotten, I love the sequel trilogy. This was like the first new Star Wars stuff I watched on screen, and it was just amazing experiences from watching The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, Rogue One, Solo, and Rise of Skywalker. Like, sure, they're not a continued, like, you could kind of tell they're not like planned as a trilogy in a way, but yet it was like that with the original trilogy. I like, even with its flaws, these films are just still very good in my opinion, with the characters and all that. Even though like there were some, like, you could tell that J.J. Abrams had some ideas that Rian Johnson did his own, and J.J. Abrams tried to like undo that later on. But it's like it, I don't know. These are just still just fun action adventure films to watch. Seeing like this,
You think he's the right choice at the time?
The Force Awakens
JJ
is amazing.
JJ
Like
Abrams, I mean.
what he did with the Force Awakens was just amazing. But yet, and this is a super like The Last Jedi is super controversial. But I love this film. I love what Rian Johnson did, and it was like I kind of wish he came back to did The Rise of Skywalker. But at the same time, I kind of wish that he like, I don't know, because that's how The Last Jedi is the best looking Star Wars film. Just the cinematography in that was just beautiful, in my opinion. Just some of the best, the Star Wars project with the best cinematography, in my opinion. Did you watch any of these, or like?
No, I watched Rogue One and
No,
Han Solo.
no. I remember you were telling me that you were watching some of these because you bought the Rey skin on Fortnite.
Yeah, I did buy the Rey skin, didn't I?
You
I
told me that
watched
you
a
watched
little
the.
bit.
I think you watched the Force
On
Awakens.
Disney Plus.
Yeah.
It was the one where Han Solo died.
Yeah, the Force Awakens, and you bought the Rey skin. But I don't know if you ever watched the Last
That's not
Jedi.
the first movie though, right?
The Force Awakens is the first movie in this new trilogy.
What? So they kill Han Solo in the first fucking movie?
Yeah. And Harrison Ford got what he wanted 30 years later.
We should rewatch. I gotta rewatch. You should. We should. One. We need to have a night where we rewatch them on Discord, or
Hell
you come
yeah.
over. We could rewatch it. Because I just, if I watch it by myself, I'm gonna fall asleep. My cracker.
Yeah, they're like,
They're fucking boring.
People hate these, but yet people
I didn't
love
mind
them.
it. Like, I was going in the mindset of like, oh, people say these are bad, so let me get ready. But I was
I love
watching them
them.
like this isn't like that bad. I don't know. I
Yeah.
didn't watch this. I didn't watch the second one or the third one, so I don't know
Yeah.
if it gets worse.
My
The first
opinion
one
is
was fine.
like with Rey, people are like, oh, she's a Mary Sue. She's suddenly a super powerful, but yet it was the same with Luke Skywalker. The dude was suddenly powerful. So,
People, this is the time when people are hating on like girls for no
this is
reason.
the thing,
Like
though.
they
It's
hated
like
on Brie Larson and
with
She-Hulk and all
guys,
fucking
if
crazy.
they're super powerful right away, nobody bats an eye. But with a girl, if they're super powerful right away, everyone's losing their goddamn minds. And it's just all,
True.
there's people who love these characters,
Like the
relate to these
ballerina.
characters. No. But like, now with
Like
the
Captain Marvel.
but like with the sequel trilogy and with the two spin-offs, Solo and Rogue One, those are what Disney. No, those are by Disney, and I think they're just super fun films. With Solo, that was actually in works before George Lucas sold Lucasfilms to Disney. Like him and Kathleen Kennedy came up with the idea to do for a Han Solo origin.
Kathleen Kennedy.
Kathleen Kennedy.
Oh.
The only way
Cartman?
the only reason you know Kathleen Kennedy is through self. No, this is the thing.
I'm pretty sure a lot of our fans would.
I have this listed
Eric
here.
Cartman.
I have
did
this
that
listed
whole-
here.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the only way you know about Star Wars is through the Family Guy specials.
No. I mean, probably back in the day, before I started watching them, yeah, that was probably the only thing I watched. And I don't know if you remember this on Cartoon Network. They used to have a Star Wars special, but it was like
Robot
thumbs.
sick. No thumbs.
No thumbs.
I
They were
remember
thumbs.
I remember they did
I'll show you a picture.
I remember there was these books that was like Origami Yoda that used to sell at our school's book fair.
Oh, dude!
I read some of those.
I remember that. And you can make it.
Yeah, you
It'll
can
show
make
you how
it
to
too.
make
It gave you instructions too.
They did. They had one of Darth Vader, didn't they?
Yeah, I think
They had,
so.
it was like a whole series. Oh
Yeah,
wow!
it was
I
like
gotta look that up.
That's a classic, man.
Oh my god, I remember that. I just unlocked the memory. I remember that
I remember
book fair. Oh,
Robot Chicken used to do like these Star Wars specials too. Like when I watched Solo, those like that was just
oh
a
my
fun
god, I
action
found it.
adventure.
The Strange Case of Origami Yoda. Darth Paper Strikes Back.
And there was a third one, and wasn't there like one of Jar Jar Binks or
Chewbacca.
something? Chewbacca, yeah.
I need to know about the third one.
I never read the third one. I read the first two.
Oh, I found the thumb thing I was telling you about.
Well,
So
let's see it.
it's called Thumb Wars: A Phantom Circle.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I'm gonna send you to you on messages, but this is I don't know if you can see it through there.
I think I ever heard of it, honestly.
I could get my focus better.
Don't worry about it.
It
But
was on Cartoon Network, and they would do this every single. I think they would maybe it might have been for May the 4th, but they would do it for every
probably
every Star Wars special or something they had
it's
going on. They would
awesome.
for some reason play this over and over again, and that was like my first introduction for to Star Wars. They're called Thumb Wars. They had a whole bunch of this. Like it was like a whole thing they used to do.
Yeah.
They had that, and they had one for like wrestling and
Mm-hmm.
shit like that.
Okay. But like now back to the sequel trilogies, just and with really with like the Disney era of the live action films, like what they did though, I love how like it just expanded the Star Wars universe even more. Because with Solo, we learned a little bit more about the scoundrel, just like the thieving, smuggling side of Star Wars. With Rogue One, how the Death Star plans got taken, and that was such a phenomenal movie, introducing us to a lot of these great characters. And also with the sequel trilogies is how it explores the Empire years after. I mean the Star Wars universe years after the Empire lost. How it introducing the First Order. How we get Kylo Ren, Rey, Finn, Poe, BB-8, Rhodes. It's all great characters in Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Now I love the story with how with Ben we see him just struggling throughout it. I just Kylo Ren, Ben. That was I don't know. That was amazing. Like I know a lot of people hate Han Solo's death, but I'm fine with it because of how we see the death carry on in the next Star Wars films. Because it's not, oh no, he died. Let's move on. No, we see because with after Kylo Ren killed his father, he struggles with it internally. He is not okay. We see and we just
Spoilers.
yeah, spoilers. And then we just see the characters still dealing with that, and there's this one spoilers here, but there's this one beautiful moment in the Rise of Skywalker that was just amazing, in my opinion.
Don't cry, man. It's over.
So beautiful. But
Don't cry, dude.
what were your thoughts on Rogue One? Because
My
you keep
thoughts
telling
on
me
like
about
Rogue
how
One,
amazing it
it's
is.
like so. Oh, don't interrupt me. I'm just kidding.
You bitch.
My thoughts on this Rogue One movie. It's been a while. I seen it once
Yeah.
back in the day, and I just remember liking it a lot. I was
Mhm.
like, oh, the visuals were just, I don't know, visuals felt good. Uh the whole like, uh, okay, what is that?
It's a Diego Luna's Cassian Andor. Remember, he was introduced in Rogue One, and then they did the Andor series that takes place before Rogue One.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I don't know what I like. It was just like a cool little impact story, and I don't know. I've always liked sci-fi. I thought the sci-fi elements were cool. I feel like it had more freedom just because it didn't really have to be forced with the whole Skywalker trying to like do lightsaber stuff and all that. I mean, there was that whole scene with Darth Vader that was like super badass where he,
Yeah, the hallway,
fucking
that
melts
was
that. Yeah, the
fucking
hallway.
epic.
I thought that was fucking cool. I remember watching this in theaters too, so that could be a little biased because of that, but
Yeah.
it didn't feel like too cheesy, and it looked cool. It was visually appealing, and it kept me awake. for
Yeah.
most of the time. That's what I don't know.
And then we watched Solo one time
Solo was a
together,
fun
and like
watch.
we
Solo,
yeah, you were telling me how
Childish
fun it was.
Gambino, I thought that was cool.
He was great as Lando. Like out of these films, though, what would you say is your favorite one? I guess that you remember.
I guess I've only seen 3: Rogue One, Han Solo, and The Force Awakens. I gotta rewatch them again to give you a
They're
better
really
answer. But
good.
right now,
I totally
yeah,
recommend
probably
them.
Rogue One.
Okay,
I want to rewatch them again. I should rewatch them.
but of course, you know the Disney era.
May the 4th.
Yeah, but like the Disney era of Star Wars continued as I think the first Disney project, no, the first project we got in the Disney era was Star Wars Rebels. And that was such an amazing animated series. But then we would get like the Bad Batch. We would get the Bad Batch. You know, we got recently Maul Lord. We got the final season for the Clone Wars, and just how they explored this era of Star Wars animation was just amazing. Even though I will admit the animation for Star Wars Rebels was kind of a hit and miss, in my opinion. Like it did take some getting used to, but yet it was still such an amazing series. Which this might be a hot take, but I think it might be my favorite animated Star Wars series there is. But then afterwards we get like no, then after that was when we got the Clone Wars season 7, which was the final season of the Clone Wars to wrap it up. And that was just amazing. Like the final 4 episodes for that season was like a movie. It was just fucking phenomenal, brilliant. Some of the best Star Wars content there is, with Maul and Ahsoka tying into Order 66. Fucking cinema right there. And then with then after that was when we got the spin-off to the Bad Batch. And the Bad Batch was a fun one. It was the Bad Batch was some fun Star Wars content, and then recently, right now, we're getting. Well, no, before the Bad Batch, we did get Star Wars Resistance. That was more for kids. It had its fun moments, some cool Star Wars moments, but that one was more for kids. And then, you know, now after the Bad Batch, we now have Maul Lord, which the day that this podcast uploads will be the final 2 episodes that it premiered. And it's like, what's fascinating about Maul Lord is just how different it is compared to a lot of these other shows. Like, you know, this has like just one constant storytelling, while like the other shows were just like maybe like an adventure. It's a new, like each episode is a new adventure, their arcs and all that. No, with Maul Lord, it is just one continuous storytelling throughout the season, and how it's been doing that, it is just fascinating. It's doing brilliant with that, in my opinion.
I know, agree. Better than the Boba Fett series?
Anything's better than the fucking Boba Fett series.
That was a disappointment.
Sadly. But like, I know you don't watch Star Wars animation, but it's like, have you been interested or no?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I was like, I watched a video essay for the Clone Wars saga, and it was like that's how I knew a little bit about the Order 66 and shit. That was that's interesting to me.
Yeah.
But there's just so much episodes and so much I gotta watch. You gotta watch the Cartoon Network shit.
You don't have to watch the original 2D stuff. You don't have to watch the 2D stuff.
No, the 3D stuff.
The 3D stuff
that they did.
The 2D stuff is no longer canon.
And I get kind of like watching
that's really
the trailers
good,
and watching the trailers and the clips of the Clone Wars. I get a little bit claustrophobic.
Yeah,
because I feel like the whole show takes place like in a little tiny spaceship.
It doesn't, but
okay.
No, but like I know you did watch some of the live action shows, because I think you watched like the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian. We did watch Book of Boba Fett. And there's a lot, you know. You got 3 seasons of Mandalorian, the Book of Boba Fett, Skeleton Crew.
I watched Obi-Wan,
Ahsoka, and Obi-Wan, and 2 seasons of Andor. So it's like
Obi-Wan was pretty cool.
I thought that was the Obi-Wan series.
I saw Ice Cube's son in there.
I remember you were with me when we met Sam Witwer at that comic convention. I was wearing an Obi-Wan shirt, and me and him was geeking out about the Obi-Wan series. Talking about like a parallel that happened in the Star Wars Rebels series too. And we were just geeking out about it.
I think you were geeking out, and he was just like, "Yeah, yeah, I remember."
Probably that
Okay.
too. Probably.
Because I remember I said, "Hey, I like doing that vampire show," and he's like, "Oh, we all love that show."
No, he
And,
said thanks. He told you thanks, man. I remember him
no,
saying thanks,
he
man, to
said,
you.
yeah, but I also remember him saying, "Oh, we all love working on that," or something like that.
He might have
He gave,
said that afterwards.
okay, yeah, he said thanks.
But he did
That's
tell you
why
thanks. Ah, thanks, man.
said thanks. We all loved working on that. Being human, that's what it was called. And then I just want to go piss next to him. Said, "Hey, you like being human, huh? Huh?" And I slammed his head.
He's God,
He's a nice guy. He
super
looked very
nice.
tired. I don't blame him.
Yeah.
Doing conventions is annoying. I don't get why celebrities do it in general.
And
They
his
don't need.
lines
They're
ever
like
since
they
then
don't need the
just
money.
when became even more crazier. Because when our
Like I said, I
when our
don't get
pal
why they do it.
Matthew
Like they don't need the money.
when our pal
Just do
Matthew went
cameo.
when our pal Matthew went to go meet him, it was he like a year later, it was a long line for him. And at MegaCon this year, his line was super long. But with the Star Wars live action shows,
Have you ever peaced next to somebody that was famous?
no. But with the Star Wars live action shows,
I have.
we have like the kind of like the mini universe they're doing with the Mandoverse. We had Mandalorian season 1, Mandalorian season 2, Book of Boba Fett, Mando season 3, the Ahsoka series, and the Skeleton Crew. That is like the mini Mandoverse they're doing, which will be continued with the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, and with Ahsoka season 2. I want to know what's your opinion on them trying to like do like these shows connected like that, because you didn't watch Ahsoka. I don't think you watched Mandalorian season 3, and you definitely didn't watch Skeleton Crew, but it's like you did watch the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett, so you did see how at least those were connected. What is like your opinion on that?
Great question, and I'm glad you asked. My opinion is, I'm glad that at least they're giving something content for the fans to enjoy. This isn't really something maybe Marvel could take a lesson from it. Marvel is a little. It doesn't really make as much content as like Star Wars. You telling me all these shows, I'm like surprised because
Like,
I
the
didn't
thing
realize
with
how much content. Oh, let me finish.
okay, your bits.
I'm done.
Like with Star Wars though, like everything is one universe. The shows, the books, the comics, or at least
It's no multi-universe
it's all
shit. Huh?
like you had like the original Legends stuff, but that's no longer canon. That's like its own universe. But then again, how George Lucas always saw it was that his movies and the Clone Wars were canon, while everything else was its own universe. Like the main universe was the stuff he did, while everything else was its own thing. So it's like, but now under Disney, everything it's just all in one universe. Even though there's books that are constantly getting retconned when stuff get introduced into live action or into shows, but still, it's all one universe. While with Marvel, the movies and the shows, it's one universe. Well, there's not really much comics connected to the movies. Maybe be like a one issue, one shot, but who knows if that's actually canon or not when it comes to like the
Well, the thing with
MCU.
Marvel also is
Marvel
like they
focuses
have a
on their
good
own
excuse.
comic universe. They
They
don't
have a
focus
good
on
excuse.
yeah.
What the fuck?
That's a
They have a
cat.
good excuse. Yeah, I look like a big rat. They have a good excuse. Even though everything is technically canon, it's also doesn't take place in the same
Yeah, they got the
in the same
multiverse now
universe.
too.
They got the multiverse, whereas if something that doesn't work or something,
Yeah, they can use that as an
they don't
excuse
want it
now.
to. They can use it as an excuse. Exactly.
Yeah.
X-Men. Star Wars doesn't really have that, and like you were asking, like, what do I think? I think it's cool that they have their own little shows that and they're all kind of different from each other. Andor is like a political, more
political thriller
governor show,
yeah.
and people that like that type of show can
Yeah.
watch that and don't have to watch other Star Wars shit to get
Exactly,
it. Unless
yeah.
I mean, I don't. That's what I get. Do you have to watch other Star Wars like shows to understand what's going on in
Really
Andor, or is
with
it
Andor, watch Rogue One right after. Because
okay?
pretty much like with Andor,
But that's it.
like even with Maul Shadow Lord, you don't have to watch anything else to understand what's going on. Like it would help, but you don't have to. And like Andor has a very different vibe compared to everything else in Star Wars. Andor is more of a serious vibe, while Star Wars has more of a playful vibe too. And what's funny is that like Andor and Star Wars Rebels take place around the same time. So it's like with Andor, it is showing how scary the Empire is, how scary these the stormtroopers are. While with Rebels, the stormtroopers were kind of goofy. You know, they're easily being tricked. You have one of the main characters, Ezra Bridger, trying to fool the galaxy that he's Jabba the Hutt when he gets captured. Wow, in Andor, we just see more guerrilla warfare type, more serious vibes. So it's just crazy just how the tones can be different in a way with all that.
And yeah, and they have something for everybody, you know. And I think that was always kind of like
Mhm.
George Lucas's vibe.
George Lucas always went for like family. Like I feel like George Lucas always wanted Star Wars to be for families, and it's really at
What?
its core, it is about families. Because
Well, didn't his like original trilogies were like different too? Because like you said, like the original trilogy was more like a fantasy action
yeah, but yet
vibe, and then the prequels are more like Shakespearean, and it's like
yeah,
it's a whole different tone. So like, I think
but
maybe Lucas
at its
wanted like every
core,
story to be a different tone.
but yet at its core, it's still always about family. It's always about found family in a way. With Rebels, with Clone Wars,
Boba the
with
Fett,
Jabba the Hutt,
Boba the Fett.
Boba
I guess
Fett.
his
I mean, yeah,
maybe his
him and
family
Fennec
was like
Sand.
him.
The Tusken, he
Yeah.
formed a family with the Tusken Raiders. Now he kind of formed a new family with Fennec Sand, Chrysanthemum. Those
God, I really want to go to the Disney
those
World
young
park,
adults
dude.
with the robotic body parts, like becoming like Dynamo. Like then of course, we have Mandalorian that is like, you know, the Mandalorian and Grogu forming a family like a father son type bond, and then Skeleton Crew was more like a Goonies type adventure, but yet still really good. And Andor, and then now the Acolyte kind of showing how corrupted the Jedi can be in a way. It's like just all like, even though not all of it is about family, but still, it's like it feels like family is like the center of most of these projects in a way.
They should yeah. I really want to go to Galaxy Edge now. I'm just
Yeah,
thinking about like seeing all this shit in person.
one day.
Cause the sets and all that look good.
Mhm. It does. But like now, since you watched some of the shows, I gotta ask, what are your thoughts on them bringing Grogu back for the Boba Fett show, reuniting them during that show, and all that? How it shifted from being a Boba Fett show to being a Mandalorian season 2.5.
I think everybody was upset, even you.
Yeah, like it felt odd. It felt weird.
Just kind of out of nowhere. Why were they throwing Gogu and Mando? Just because I think they were scared that maybe
Yeah,
they couldn't do good
yeah, that's what it felt
without
like.
it.
Yeah.
And I thought they were doing fine until that point. I'm like, oh, what the fuck are they doing now?
Yeah, it was like, why are they doing this so quickly? And I feel like that kind of like what I don't want to say made people upset about Mandalorian season 3, because Mandalorian season 3 wasn't really the best either, but like I feel like people were kind of excited for like interested, fascinated with like, oh, okay, Mandalorian isn't going to have Grogu, so how will this play out for Mandalorian season 3? And it didn't.
Had Grogu, I'm guessing.
He had Grogu, and it was like, oh, okay then. But there were some fun moments.
Yeah,
But
because it feels like that probably was the original idea. Like Mando was supposed to like every season was supposed to be a different arc.
yeah.
I feel like that's what they were like first trying to do with the
So
whole
like it was
Mando
probably
series.
because of toys and all that. They're like, okay, yeah, no, we got to get them back together.
I mean, after
Mhm.
Baby Yoda, everybody was like,
Mhm.
well, it became such a meme.
Yeah, it
But
became a phenomenon.
I feel like they were because it would look like it was going for a Western vibe, and It looked like Mando was supposed to do a whole different arc in every other
Yeah, it felt
season.
like it was setting up for that, but
Now it's just like not even a Mando, so it's a Mando and I mean, look at the name of the movie, Mando and Grogu.
yeah, with
It's a little. I mean, I just stuff changes all the time. Stuff,
yeah,
I get it,
because
money,
they were supposed
but
to do a Mandalorian season 4, but during this pandemic, they were like, why don't we do a movie instead? Which for that they did not get the script for season 4 and turned it into a movie. They just wrote a whole new script for the movie, whole new story.
my thing is, I'm just thinking like, I'm just go with my. I mean, I guess I'm a little disappointed because my mind goes like, what if? What would have happened if
Yeah.
we would have gotten like a whole Mando
Hmm.
season without Grogu and it's just him doing another adventure? What else could they have come up with?
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe that's what people were expecting with the Boba Fett show,
But
but
people would.
then that turned out to just be Mando and Grogu 2.0, like you
That's
said.
the thing, though. When it comes to a Boba Fett show, you were expecting, oh, this is going to be about Boba Fett, fully about Boba Fett, but yet it felt like they didn't have enough material to focus on Boba Fett for that. So it's like when we got the
Yeah.
Ahsoka spinoff, it was like, oh god, this is about to become a Mandalorian. This is we're going to see Mandalorian suddenly appear in this, and it will become his series again. And I remember there was
Did
like
we?
no, and I remember there was kind of like some thing that's like, oh, it's gonna be the same with the Skeleton Crew, but no. No, but like with like the Mandoverse, the Skeleton Crew, I feel like that is a super underrated one because you could like that one is inspired by pirates, inspired by the Goonies, Peter Pan, Treasure Island, all that stuff, and that one was such a fun one.
I
That is
gotta
one.
watch it. Didn't
That's a really
Gus
good.
like that too, right?
Gus liked it, yeah. And with the
Yeah.
Acolyte, now this isn't part of the Mandoverse. This actually takes place 100 years before A Phantom Menace. That one got a lot of unnecessary hate, but yet that one was such a really good one.
I only saw one thing about it. It was
It
like
had
something about a lightsaber. I think I sent you the
was
clip.
it the
Like, what
whip,
the?
the lightsaber whip?
No, it was. I think the first episode. I forgot what it
I
was.
don't
Like a
know.
lightsaber went through somebody or some shit like that.
Probably. But
I
like
don't
with
know.
that one, it had some of the best lightsaber fights. We
Yeah.
get introduced to like this new bad guy, was who I met him at MegaCon last year. Manny Jacinto is the actor's name. Such an amazing character. Such a
Oh,
badass
put your
menace
penis back in your
character.
pants, dude.
Such a
Looks like you're
badass
about to
menace
explode.
character. It's like there was so much potential with him, but yet the series unfortunately got canceled after one season. And I was like, oh man, what the heck?
Gen
Because you
V
have
got canceled.
people just bitching and moaning about it. Like, oh, this isn't Star Wars. Like, what do you mean this isn't Star Wars? Blah blah blah. Like,
Is it because of that, or is it because it didn't get enough views?
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Because people can bitch and moan about stuff, but
Yeah,
as if it gets views, the company is gonna still make shows or
yeah,
still make series. So if
exactly.
people aren't watching the show, maybe the company has no incentive to like keep making it.
But yeah, people, it did get views. I'm pretty sure, but yet I don't know what. Like, due to the bitching and moaning, I think that's why it got canceled. I don't know
Nah,
exactly. I hope
Star
they
Wars
bring
doesn't
it
give a
back
fuck
though.
about that. They made
Yeah.
3 movies. The pre everybody bitched about the prequels, and
Exactly, and like all of a sudden, people now love the prequels. It's like, oh no, 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 no. I'm gatekeeping this. It's
yeah,
like I'm
I
not
don't
gonna
know.
lie. I'm like this when it comes to Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man because I've always been a fan of him, and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man was always more like the middle child between
That second
Toby
movie
and
sucked. That
Tom.
second
And
movie
then
sucked.
after No Way Home, all of a sudden there's like this renaissance of Andrew Garfield Spider-Man fans, and I'm like, no, 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 no,
Oh,
no, 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 no. Where the fuck were y'all in 2014? No, 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 no. This is my Spider-Man. Stay the fuck away.
hey, that movie was good though. They wrote him better in No Way Home than they did. The second one was just bad,
Yeah,
man. Like the
let's look
second
at.
one has the best Spider-Man suit in the
I
world. I
agree.
love that live
But
action Spider-Man
we'll
suit.
talk about this when it comes to the Spider-Man Day podcast. I just want to like just kind of like gatekeep on like so how I
Don't
gatekeep.
get me started on Andrew.
But yeah,
I don't know, like the Acolyte, sure,
hmm
it got canceled, but it got
hmm
canceled for its own reasons. I don't know if it was because of the hate or because of the viewership.
Yeah,
or both, maybe
maybe
both.
both. But it's like
Was it actually a good show? Like, I don't know, did it
I
keep you
loved it.
interested?
I really liked it. It
Yeah.
was something new and unique in Star Wars, but yet because like a lot of people don't understand
Can
this,
you
but the
see why people
Jedi,
hate it though, or no?
no, the Jedi are dickheads. That's the thing about that was the thing we saw in the prequels. We saw more of that in the Clone Wars. The Jedi are dickheads. They are cocky pricks. You have
Oh,
you have
there
some that
was,
are
yeah.
you have some
Go
that are
ahead.
respectful, like Yoda, Obi-Wan, but yet Mace Windu. I love Sam Jackson, but Mace Windu is a huge dick. Mace
No, there
Windu
was
is the
something.
reason why the Jedi are flawed.
Wasn't there there was a clip I sent you about the director saying somebody's name wrong? No, there. Don't you remember that?
No.
I think he said Anakin killed the Death Star or some
Oh,
shit
that
like
was the
that.
actor. That was the Anakin blowing up the Death Star. That was the actor. I remember that.
I'm not trying to spread the hate. I'm just saying I do
That was
remember that clip
funny,
and I
but
thought
it's
that was
like
funny.
he accidentally said Anakin instead of Luke. It's like okay, it's fine. We say mistakes all the time. No, I'm pretty sure we said several mistakes in this. You said you were talking about Mark Hamill instead of Harrison Ford earlier.
That's
Rewind
true.
clip.
Look at that guy. He's
So
gonna go watch the
you know,
Skeleton Crew right now.
mistakes happen, but like
Hey, if you like the
yeah,
acolyte, you like the acolyte. You know what I'm saying? Like it, as long as you liked
hmm
it, and
yeah.
did they at least end the first season good, or is it like
It was a
oh
pretty good
it
ending.
might come back?
It was like a good ending that had potential to continue because I remember the showrunner, see who wrote the scripts and all that. So he talked about how he took inspiration from Breaking Bad with how season one of Breaking Bad ended. So
It might come back.
who knows? Maybe one day, hopefully. But it's like out of like I guess the Star Wars shows you watched, which one's your favorite?
First season of Mando and the Obi-Wan.
Ah,
Those two are the only ones
good
like I.
choices. Good choices.
Yeah.
I love those.
Thanks.
I
How about
love.
you?
I got to go with Andor. I really love
Over
season one of
Clone Wars?
Ahsoka. Yeah, I don't know because Ahsoka was a love letter to both Rebels and Clone Wars, and then Andor was just something new and unique in it. I will admit, season one was a bit slow, but then again, that was because they were releasing each episode per week, and like rewatching the season, like because with Andor, like there was like 12 episodes, but yet 3 episodes was one arc. So if you watch like those 3 episodes together, it kind of flowed better, in my opinion. And that's how they released season two of Andor, 3 episodes per week. And Andor season two, what's this phenomenal, beautiful, all that. So yeah, I think Andor season two is my favorite. Then Ahsoka season one.
Okay.
But like of course we got several video games throughout the years. While the Force Unleashed games are no longer canon, those are still super fun. We had a lot of the Battlefront games from the original ones to 2 newer ones. We recently had Star Wars Outlaws, which that was from Ubisoft. So I'll let you guess how that one was, because Ubisoft, in my opinion, is a hit and miss.
So was it a hit or a miss?
Both. It's fun, but yet with
Have
it
you
being
played it
Ubi,
yet?
I played a little bit of it, but yet last time I played it, it crashed.
You played it. You have it on Steam or
I
PlayStation?
have it on PlayStation. Like, I want to play more of it, but it's Ubisoft, and Ubisoft game mechanics are fucking pain in the ass, man.
Not Assassin's Creed. At least the first ones.
Nowadays they are.
I
People
feel
come
like Assassin's Creed is like the only games Ubisoft has ever done good at.
pretty
They
much.
have that. They have
Mhm.
that one Avatar
Mhm.
game, but I haven't even played it.
I thought you did.
Pandora.
But
Mm.
now we know we have the Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor, and those are some of my favorite. Those are Jedi Survivor is my favorite Star Wars game right now. I feel like because it got what people loved about Jedi Fallen Order and gave us more of what we loved about it, but at the same time gave us what we wanted to see with it too, in a way. And I think it did brilliant with that. And that's how me and Matthew met, waiting in the voice actor's line at a comic convention. And at this comic convention, Marin got drunk.
Yeah. Because my two buddies wanted to wait on an 5 hour long fucking line, and I was there stroking my dick, walking around, and just looking at the same pieces of art.
You did get to meet Keith
At that,
David and Lucy Christen.
yeah, that was I met three people, and they were still waiting for one fucking
3
line.
people. You met 2 people.
I met Keith David,
Lucy
the
Christen.
voice actor Lucy Christie, and I also met Sam Witwer in the bathroom again. We did cocaine.
You again! Security! It's like, Star Wars, the Star Wars universe is massive with all this stuff.
And
but
it's just
like,
getting bigger, guys. It's
it's
gonna
just
get better.
getting
We
bigger.
have that new Mando and Grogu show coming
Yeah,
out.
we got the new movie.
shows coming out.
And we got Ahsoka season 2 that is coming out sometime this year, which that one's going to be really good. But also next year, we have Star Wars Starfighter, the Ryan Gosling Star Wars movie, and that one's going to be a great one. It's directed by Sean Levy. We know him from directing the Night at the Museum films, Real Steel, Free Guy, Deadpool and Wolverine. He directs some episodes of Stranger Things, and he is doing Star Wars Starfighter in but besides that, there's still a lot of Star Wars projects that either got shelved or they're still in development. No, the one I am upset about, The Hunt for Ben Solo, which a lot of people are upset that this one is shelved. Hopefully they bring that one back. Of course, we had James Mangold's Star Wars film, which was supposed to show the first Sith and Jedi pretty much, but with James Mangold signing a huge deal with Paramount, who knows if we will ever get that film from him and get Swamp Thing from him for the DCU. Also, there's a new trilogy that was supposed to be in works by Simon Kinberg. He was one of the guys who helped out with the X-Men films. There's another trilogy that was supposed to be in works, but who knows what the hell is going on with this, and it was Rian Johnson's own trilogy. We do have Taika Waititi's Star Wars film being written. I don't know if that one has a release date yet, but there's been some positive updates that it is still being worked on. Patty Jenkins, who directed Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman 1984, she originally had her own Star Wars film, but that got put on hold when she went to go work on Wonder Woman 3, but that got canceled, and she was supposedly working on her own Star Wars film again, Rogue Squadron, but I don't know what the heck is going on with that. We are supposed to be getting a Lando movie because it was originally supposed to be a Disney Plus series, but when Donald Glover and his brother came on board to write it, they were like, "All right, but we're going to write this as a movie instead." And Star Wars is like, "Okay, go ahead." But due to his health issues that he had, I think last year, we really haven't heard much about the project, so who knows what is going on with that at the moment. And we do have a Rey film that is in works that's supposed to take place, I believe, 15 years after Rise of Skywalker, so in her rebuilding the Jedi Order. And we were originally supposed to get a Kevin Feige Star Wars film because he is a huge Star Wars fan, and he was apparently going to help develop a film, but that unfortunately never happened. But Marin, which one of these films, I guess, interests you?
So great question.
You felt
The one that interests me the most, part of the Ryan Gosling one, the
Mhm.
first one you mentioned.
Yeah, the
The other
Starfighter.
ones, yes, I'm not gonna lie to you, I did fall asleep right at when you were talking.
Bitch.
But Ryan Gosling's that one looks cool. Hopefully he
Mhm.
gets him because I
After
think it's a star fighting. Okay, it's in
yeah.
the name, but it's like a star. It takes place like in the ships. I'm getting Top Gun vibes from it. If that makes sense.
After watching Project Hail Mary, it's like, ooh, I'm excited to see what they do with what Ryan Gosling could do in Star Wars. And it's Ryan Gosling in Star Wars.
Yeah, that's gonna. He's a funny good. He's a good actor.
He doesn't do
I think he's my favorite
franchises though.
Ryan now.
that's the thing. He doesn't really do franchises. So like this is like the big, like he did films that were supposed to set up franchises that unfortunately never did anything. Like the Nice Guys was supposed to, they had plans for a sequel, but that never sadly happened. I
Starblade or
think they had
Starblade?
ideas for free for the Fall
Blade
Guy,
Runner.
but Blade Runner that sadly flopped. But like with Star Wars Starfighter, that one could be a lot of fun. I feel like the one I'm looking forward to. Well, the one that I hope ends up getting made is The Hunt for Ben Solo. Honestly, like
That'd be
that
a
one
cool
just
one.
sounds exciting, but it's whatever. But like within Star Wars, what is something you like to see happen? Whether like I guess something you like to see happen in Star Wars, I guess.
For them to cross over with the Marvel universe again.
I want to see that comic. I think that could be a fun mini comic. I would like to see stuff take place not in the Skywalker saga, but like kind of like not fully connected to the Star Wars films we know. Like a whole different
Yeah, it's
side of the
kind of you. The way
that's
you're
been
mentioning it, it's kind of going away with it now.
like
Skeleton Crew.
Taika's Skeleton Crew, yeah, but like with Taika's Star Wars, that is said to be like its own thing, exploring like not be connected to these Star Wars films, be like its own adventure, its own thing, and I think it doing stuff like that could like help refresh the franchise. But yet, the Acolyte was starting to do something like that because it was taking place in the High Republic era, but people bitched and moaned about it and ruined when we finally got something that wasn't connected to the Skywalker saga.
People
But
bitching and moaning, and people
yep,
also bitching and moaning about the people that are bitching and moaning.
pretty much. But one thing before wrapping up, I guess. What is your favorite Star Wars project, and what is your least favorite Star Wars project, and who is your favorite character out of all Star Wars?
Bro, I don't.
From what you've seen.
Mm, maybe Empire Strikes Back. I gotta rewatch. I want to watch them now. You're making me enticed to watch the newer ones. For right now, either Empire Strikes Back or the Revenge of the Sith.
Classics.
Two favorite Marvel
Really?
projects right now.
Star Wars.
My two favorite Star Wars projects right now.
What
Least
is?
favorite, probably Boba Fett.
Yeah,
My least favorite project, I would have to
I agree
say.
with that. Who's your favorite character
Can't.
though?
Favorite character, Baby Yoda.
Grogu.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
be a little different from the masses. I'll say Baby
Yeah.
Yoda.
Good. Okay. My favorite Star Wars film.
I bet nobody ever has that one as their
No,
favorite.
probably not. Like my favorite, I gotta go with Revenge of the Sith. Like Anakin's my favorite. I think just Anakin and Obi-Wan, I feel like they're just two of my favorite characters, and just what they do in that film with them is brilliant. But yet, I also love Empire Strikes Back. But yet, I feel like Empire Strikes Back is the safest option. Like
I know,
my,
right? They need
yeah,
to make more movies, dude.
but like my least favorite film, I think is Attack of the Clones. But my least favorite Star Wars project, I gotta go with Book of Boba Fett. Like they really fumbled it with that. And what sucked is that
Not Acolyte.
I love the Acolyte. But what sucked
Oh.
about Book of Boba Fett, we were supposed to get a Boba Fett movie at one point by the guy who directed Fan Four Stick.
Hey,
Thankfully, we
that's
did
not
not get
wrapping
that.
up. That's more
Thankfully, we did
lore.
not get that. But we were supposed to get one directed by James Mangold. That never fucking happened.
I'm about to mangle you.
Won't be the first time. But then we just ended up getting this series. It was like, bro, what? Can't lie, I was disappointed. But my favorite character, of course, is Anakin Skywalker. Like, the dude is the GOAT.
Didn't see
Have
that
so much
coming.
aura. Puts Timothy Chalamet's paw arthritis to shame.
They should remake the Star Wars movies and just have him be Anakin.
Oh, fuck no. Like, yeah, pretty much. Any last trivia game before we wrap up?
No.
Oh.
Sure. Who in the movie is green?
Yoda? Greedo?
Oh,
Yaddle.
All right. Somebody knows
Those
their Star Wars.
pig, muscular, fat ones from Jabba the Hutt's palace.
What is Yoda's home planet's name?
He doesn't have a home planet, but he does live in Dagobah. Nobody. Yoda's species and actual home planet is a mystery.
Yeah, you're right. He never reveals his home planet.
But he does live in Dagobah. It's not his home planet,
Which
but that's
two comedians voice BB-8?
Bill Hader, and I don't know who the second. I only know Bill Hader. Hader.
Which two comedians voice BB-8?
Bill Hader. Hader. I don't know who the second. No. It's Andy Samberg?
His first name? No, his first name is Ben.
Ben Schwartz.
Yeah, what the hell? How'd you get that?
Because he's Sonic.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know he was BB. Okay.
1% of people can get this answer right.
Oh boy.
How many languages can CP3O speak?
Over 1,000.
Yes, but no.
I don't know.
That's
I don't.
yes, over 1,000.
I don't remember the exact number though, but I know it's
6
over
million.
6 million.
That's what it says.
Wow. I got fully rewatched the movies.
Who plays Padme in the Star Wars prequel?
Natalie Portman, the mighty Thor herself.
Damn, she looks really good for her age then.
Is she pregnant again?
Bruh, by Thor?
No.
How many Jedi sit on the Jedi table? Jedi Council.
Jedi Council 12.
That is correct.
Oh, I guess.
And I'll end with this one. Let me pick a good one though. Which planet does the Death Star destroy in the New Hope?
Alderaan.
Which planet? Yeah. And
Leia's home
what
planet.
Okay, who voices Yoda in the movies?
Frank Oz.
All right.
He's Miss Piggy.
What?
I think he does the puppeteer for Miss Piggy. Yeah, he was Miss Piggy.
Is Miss Piggy and Yoda the same guy? That's hot. All right, end the show.
All right, but that pretty much wraps up for our May the 4th Be With You Star Wars Day podcast. If you listen to us ramble on for about 2 hours, thank you so much. I love Star Wars. Marin, on the other hand, I'm trying to get him into Star Wars, but he's just being a little sourpuss when it comes to Star Wars.
I like Star Wars.
But,
maybe I'll start watching. I'll start with The Acolyte.
I love The Acolyte.
If that show does not hook me, then I will
episode
never watch another
4
Star Wars
and the
project.
finale was phenomenal for The Acolyte. But, that pretty much wraps up this episode. But what is your favorite Star Wars project? What is your least favorite Star Wars project? And who is your favorite Star Wars character? Let us know in the comments below. Check us out on our socials where I'm always posting stuff. Him, on the other hand, he's going on a social media hiatus. But he is streaming on Twitch, so watch his Twitch streams. Watch him get spooked playing Resident Evil.
And Brandon too. He's also playing
I've been playing Resident Evil.
He's gonna play tonight.
Too late to play tonight, but this pretty much been our podcast. Thank you for listening. Happy Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you.
And thank you for joining us onto this journey into fantasy.